When I originally selected Psalm 86 for the scripture today, I thought that I would stand up here and talk about how a couple years ago, I'm in this extended funk and praying to God for help and guidance every night before I fall asleep. I was frustrated with my job, my social life, my living situation, among other things. And then I started dating Annabelle, and those frustrations moved to the background. We got married, I gained a stepson, we have a daughter, and I feel truly happy. I feel like God has answered my prayer for help. But in light of recent social events and the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement, I feel like my frustrations are insignificant, and I just don't feel right talking about my millennial white guy problems. So now I'm back to a blank page with severe writer's block. I read Psalm 86 again, and after all, it's a prayer for help. So I look back at Psalm 86, and for whatever reason, verses 11 through 15 weren't part of the original lectionary. Let me read them. Teach me, Lord, what you want me to do, and I will obey you faithfully. Teach me to serve you with complete devotion. I will praise you with all my heart, O Lord my God. I will proclaim your greatness forever. How great is your constant love for me. You have saved me from the grave itself. Proud men are coming against me, O God. A gang of cruel men is trying to kill me, people who pay no attention to you. But you, O Lord, are merciful and loving God, always patient, always kind, and faithful. Looking at Psalm 86 in entirety, I see a range of emotions. I see hope, faithfulness, joy, but also some fear and some desperation. Verse 14, which is not part of the recommended liturgy, particularly sticks out. Proud men are coming against me, O God. A gang of cruel men is trying to kill me, people who pay no attention to you. This verse sounds especially applicable to today's world, as our fellow citizens are afraid to even leave their house for fear they'll be persecuted just because of the color of their skin. I keep reading the psalm, and each time I have a slightly different interpretation, but also each time I am drawn toward what I perceive to be elements of hope. I call to you in times of trouble because you answer my prayer. Turn to me and have mercy on me. Strengthen me, save me. Listen, Lord, to my prayer. Hope is a good thing. Which leads me into a great segue here. The Shawshank Redemption is one of my favorite movies. It's a fictional story of a young banker, Andy Dufresne, who is wrongly convicted of murder and is sent to Shawshank Prison to serve 2 consecutive life sentences. Shortly after arriving at Shawshank, Andy meets Red, who has recently been denied parole, and the two become best friends. Instead of giving in to the institutionalization of prison, Andy finds little projects to keep himself occupied. While tarring the roof of a license plate factory, he overhears the captain of the prison guards complaining about a tax issue. Andy interrupts and offers financial planning advice in exchange for a few bottles of beer while nearly getting himself thrown off the roof. Shortly thereafter, Andy is assigned to the prison library and soon finds himself filing tax returns for all the guards, including the warden. Andy's next project is to expand the prison library by writing a letter, 1 letter a week, to the state legislature. To relieve themselves of this annoyance, the state sends Andy a few crates of used books and records, one of which is a recording of The Marriage of Figaro. Andy somehow manages to play this record over the prison public address system, and as a result, finds himself in solitary confinement. After his release back into the general population, Andy claims his stint in solitary was the easiest time he ever did. Why? hope. Hope got him through, a concept that Red and the others quickly dismissed. Andy continues to expand the prison library and starts helping other inmates earn their GEDs. All the while, Andy becomes involved in a money laundering scheme with the warden that during a discussion with Red, Andy states, "The funny thing is, on the outside, I was an honest man, straight as an arrow. I had to come to prison to be a crook." We're led to believe that Andy finally reaches his breaking point when another inmate learns of the details of Andy's conviction and claims to know the person responsible for the murder of his wife. Andy pleads to the warden, who refuses to listen and sends him to solitary confinement when Andy mentions the money laundering. After 2 months in a hole, Andy appears broken. Out of his typical character, he tells Red about a dream of living in Zihuatanejo in Mexico and requests that if Red ever gets paroled, to retrieve a package buried in a specific hayfield outside of Buxton, Maine. And that everything in life comes down to a simple choice: get busy living or get busy dying. Fearing that his friend Andy is suicidal, Red doesn't sleep at all that night. During roll call the next morning, Andy doesn't fall in, causing Red even more concern. And then the guards find his cell empty. Andy had escaped during the night and through some creative bookkeeping, left town with the significant sum of the warden's laundered money. While you watch this movie, you're not only rooting for Andy, but for Red as well. Red is admittedly the only guilty man in Shawshank, but has become so institutionalized that he feels no hope. Despite his admitted guilt, you're still finding yourself rooting for him. A year after Andy's escape, Red is paroled after serving 40 years, and he really struggles on the outside. He can't comprehend his newfound freedom and has difficulty functioning without someone telling him when to eat, when to sleep, etc. He contemplates committing another crime so he'll get sent back to Shawshank, all the while standing in front of a storefront, staring at a knife. But instead, he purchases a compass, finds his way to Buxton, and retrieves the package in that hayfield, which turns out to be money and a letter from Andy to Red. The last sentence of Andy's letter reads, "Remember, Red, hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies." Red finally succumbs to Andy's hope, travels to Mexico, and finds Andy on a beach refurbishing an old fishing boat. The two reunited friends happily embrace, and the movie ends. The Shawshank Redemption shows us the power of hope, but also active hope. Andy is proactive with his hope, and that he starts small by offering free financial advice to a single guard, all in order to feel normal again, and then allowing his hope to grow to the point that he is able to achieve his dream of escaping to Mexico. It takes Red a little while, but he eventually finds his own hope and makes it to Mexico himself to reunite with Andy. Both of these characters acted on their hope. They did more than just wish for something good to happen. They acted on it. Dearly beloved, hope truly is a good thing. I honestly believe that hope and faith lead to joy. But hope cannot be passive. We have to do more than hope that African Americans in our community are treated as equals. I think all too often we forget Jesus' teaching. Do for others what you would want them to do for you. All too often we look the other way. I've been very lucky in my life. A lot of good things have happened to me, but yet I still need to convince myself to pay it forward. Do something good for someone just for the sake of doing it. Give someone else the ability to hope, but also to act on it. We, as a congregation at Camp Hill Presbyterian Church, are a very giving congregation. Mission work is our bailiwick. It's easy to financially support our missions, but I challenge you all to go one step further. Support our missions with your time. Volunteer at Downtown Daily Bread, assist with our missions at Christ Lutheran Church in Harrisburg, or New Hope Ministries, or any other one of the ministries that we're involved in. By volunteering your time, you'll be giving our missions a face, an active hope for change, and inspiring people to follow your lead. This Father's Day, give more than a prayer for help. Inspire someone to gain hope. Amen.